We're gonna do another quick unboxing here. So what we have here is a ASUS, what is it? VivoBook Flip 14, or model number TM420U. So it has a Ryzen 5 5500U processor. This one should have a 12 GB RAM, which is kind of weird. And so we'll see the performance of that. You might not even be using dual channels, so we'll see. And 512 gigs of hard drive space, NVMe, obviously, so it should be pretty quick. And yeah, got this from Best Buy, and it's an open box. I guess certified refurbished, or that's what they call it at least. So it's not completely brand new, but it's not like used or secondhand either. So, and what we have here inside the box. What else? Oh, I didn't see the charger. Something there. So pretty bare bones, no paperwork of any kind. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Everything should be digitized anyway. So the first thing we have here is the adapter. It's not a USB-C power delivery. It's a normal, what do you call this? Barrel type socket. So one thing I don't like about it, but it's fine. It should be easy enough to buy another one of these just in case, but it does make the laptop it's less practical, right? Because you can't just use a standard or a standardized power adapter. But this is what does it say? How many wattage is this? 65 watts, and so not too big. It doesn't fold either, so that's kind of annoying as well, but yeah. So the next one is the laptop itself. We'll go open it up now. Yeah. All right, so okay. Yeah, no scratches. So it's practically new. Wait. Is that looks like there's some down here, but you can barely see it. Yeah. So obviously it won't be perfect, but it still looks pretty good. And the bottom too, all the screws are there. You'd be amazed how easily laptops will lose screws, and the feet are rubber feet are there too. So yeah, that's okay. And all the labels are still here. And yeah, and I think let's just see the inside. All right, so I finished setting up the laptop, and yeah, actually let's look at it for a bit, some more, at least on the outside. So it has obviously the AC charger port here, full HDMI port. That's pretty good. USB Type A, USB 3.2, I believe. Same as this one, but this one is a Type C. Headphone jack, micro SD card reader. That's pretty convenient. Some lights and the power buttons there. The bottom has the speaker grills at the bottom, which is, yeah, that's not optimal. On the back, not much, just the hinge or double hinges. And on the other side, you have the exhaust, so you'll feel hot air coming out of this grills here, and USB 2 Type A, and this is cool. And then obviously you can, you know, you can do this, right? And use it like this, or you can use it like a more of a tablet, you know, like this. And when you do that, it disables the keyboard behind, so you don't accidentally press any keys or whatever. But yeah. Okay, before we look at the performance, let's just go over more of the specs here. Yeah, obviously ASUS 5500U, you know, we went over this stuff. Yeah, so, but this is a 14-inch screen. Let's just zoom in, I guess. It's kind of weird, I'm looking at the specs on the laptop, but yeah, 14-inch screen, 1080p. Not a reason why I got this particular laptop. It's 14 inch, not too big, not too small, and there's not a lot of bezel around the screen, so it's fairly compact. And yeah, memory, they don't list the 12 gigs that I have, but yeah, I have this particular 512 gigabytes in NVMe, so that's good. Yeah, went over the I/O ports. There's a camera, 720p, pretty standard. Built-in speakers, obviously tuned by Harman Kardon, so it doesn't sound bad. It's okay. The battery's not the biggest, but it lasts. So far, it's been lasting the whole school day with enough to spare without having to charge it. So yeah, it's relatively light. 3.3 pounds, you know, and one thing too is it didn't say here, it has Wi-Fi 6, which I do have, so pretty up to date in terms of wireless connection, obviously Bluetooth 5, and yeah, so so what I paid for mine is $600, like this one right here. I zoom in there, you know, with tax and everything, it's about $600. Right, so but depending on what type of configuration you get, it can be cheaper or more expensive. Like for example, it's still this is that the same one still? You can get something cheaper with an i3. You can get something more expensive. This is, by the way, this is Canadian prices. If you look at Amazon.com, then we can see like the US prices. You can, if you get the latest version that has, I think the 5700 CPU, that's more expensive. Yeah, so price varies a lot. This particular one right here is an i7. So, you know, watch out for that. But for me, I think the best value is the Ryzen 5 5500U, because yeah, the one that I have, I mean, that's why I got it. But yeah, in terms of performance and what you will see, and efficiency, and then obviously space and everything. So yeah, so I'd recommend this laptop in this particular configuration. Oh, while we're here, so I have been running some tests, and let's look at first the CPU Z. And yeah, so obviously you see the spec there, Ryzen 5 5500U, 7 nanometers, pretty advanced. Core speed is, well, right now it's pretty low because it's sitting idle basically. And now the most interesting is, I guess, for us, since it is 12 gigabytes of RAM, and there is no such thing as a 12 gigabyte stick of RAM. And yeah, it's still running dual channel. Seems like what it does is that up to 8 gigs is dual channel, and the remaining 4 runs as single channel. At least that's how I understand it. But yeah, and DRAM frequency is 1600, which means it's 3200 megahertz, which is pretty good RAM. You know, for a laptop, that is. Yeah, so dual channel, good. Should I upgrade to 16? I don't know if it's worth it, but we'll see. Now let's look at the SSD portion of it, and storage. Again, pretty good. It's pretty good. 1100 for read and almost 1000 for writes, which is, I mean, obviously that's like basic, you know, NVMe SSD, but it still makes me think that, you know, there's not a lot of bottleneck in the system at all to be able to get those readings. And, you know, that's running the profile of real world performance as opposed to, you know, default or peak performance. So this is more realistic. So I'm happy about that. And I also ran Geekbench, and so we have an 11 score of 1100 for single core score, which is pretty good. Multi-core, and there's 6 cores here, is 5400. That's actually not bad. Now, for comparison, I have a MacBook Pro from 2015. This is what my kid has been using. Has 16 gigs of RAM, yada yada yada. And the score for this one is 800 single core, and then 2800 for multi-core, which is, you know, multi-core wise is basically double, right? And yeah, and that's good. And this laptop is lighter, smaller, more efficient. The battery on this one doesn't last as long, even though I've replaced it already. But you know, this thing is pretty power hungry. So yeah, I'm happy about that. What else? And then there's also, I also ran the compute calculation. This is basically measuring the you know, GPU performance, obviously built in. 12,000 OpenCL score. Now let's compare that. Going back to the MacBook Pro, it's 5,000. So yeah, way more than double, right? So again, it's definitely an upgrade for not much money. Right? This doesn't really cost a lot of money, all considering, you know, six cores and 12 logical cores. That's pretty good. Just another comparison here. I'm on my desktop. It is basically my file server, media server, whatever. It's as you can see here, it's a Ryzen 5 also, but 5600G. Although I'm not using the G part, I have a video card, which is an older GTX 1060, 6 gigs. Anyways, so yeah, I ran the same Geekbench benchmark here. So we're at a 1400 single core, 17, I guess almost 7200 for multi-core. Obviously the same amount of cores, 6 cores, physical cores that is, and then 12 logical cores. And now I guess the compute part is a big difference here, because obviously there's a discrete video card, almost 3800. No, 38,000, rounding it up, that is. So yeah, and also ran what do you call this? This mark here for the disk speeds. This is almost like 3,000, no, 3 times as fast for the Ryzen writes. Yeah, I know there's a big difference. It's yeah. Oh yeah, this one is this desktop has 32 gigs of RAM running at 3600. So yeah, not bad at all, you know, for the laptop that is, compared to this dedicated desktop machine. It's not overclock or anything like that. Just everything default. Just have XMP enabled just so that the memory frequency is correct. And yeah, anyways, but it's still not bad. You know, considering it was, you know, a relatively cheap laptop, you know, a portable device, about what 2/3 of the measurement compared to this one, which is not bad, and you know, not a big difference from what was it, 1100 to 1400. Again, roughly or 1500, so roughly 2/3, right? So yeah, and what else? Around this one's not so. This is like same benchmark, but in Vulkan mode. I just checked the user bench as well here, just to see how well the actual components are doing in relative to other computers with the same components. That's pretty good, 89 percentile. So I guess in this case it's going turbo, turbo at 3.8 gigahertz. I'm pretty sure the fan was like working pretty hard to make that happen. The GPU, iGPU, again 92% now. So which means this laptop is running, you know, pretty good. Well, obviously it's brand new, so there's not a lot of malware and stuff like that running in the background. The drive, 76 percentile. Again, that's pretty good. And you know, compared to the rest, it's pretty good. Obviously, 148% of what I guess everyone in user benchmark. Obviously the iGPU score is way low, 16.6, because it's not even a real video card, you know, it's built-in one. Processor wise, still pretty good, 81 percentile out of everyone in user bench. Scroll down here. Oh yeah, forgot about the RAM. So RAM, you know, just average, so which is to be expected, right? It's RAM, and yeah, there are two sticks, 4 gig and 8 gig, and I guess compared to the rest of the world, 68%, just over above average. So yeah, all in all, we're pretty happy with this. I'm still considering whether or not I should upgrade the hard drive. I have 1 gig, no, 1 terabyte that I can pull out from my MacBook. Also have a 8 gig just lying around here. Now the only problem is that this one is only 2400. So is it worth the additional 4 gigs, but then going down to 2400? Yeah, I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see if it's running out of memory. But I don't think it would. 12 gigs is a lot. Even 8 gigs in dual core is a lot. So yeah, let's flip this over again. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, if I do decide to upgrade this, I'll let you know and show that on video. So thanks for watching. Bye.